Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. We'll just take a moment to become present. So find a nice, comfortable seated position where you can lengthen your spine in the back of your neck, open your chest, open your heart, allow the diaphragm to be nice and unobstructed. And gently close your eyes. Soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle. Breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. This morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention, I'd like to talk about the last of the Ayurvedic seasons, which is Pitta. Ayurveda is a sister science to yoga, and it's an ancient health system over 5,000 years old that focuses on three doshas or energies, the Vata, the Pitta, and the Kapha. All three energies are present in each of us in varying levels, determined by our body and our mind and our spirit. And back in the fall when we did Vata, I gave you a link to do a dosha quiz, and I'd be more than happy to resupply that to you if you want to find out which dosha is prominent in you. And then the goal of this science, this Ayurvedic science, is to keep you in balance. It's all about offsetting things. And it does it through what you eat, and then through emotional and physical well-being routines. And then talking about doshas, that it can be applied to other things like seasons, which we'll talk about, and times of day as well. So there's the Pitta season is governed by fire and water. So you think of light, lots and lots of light, lots of heat, lots of humidity with the water. And as Oscar calls it, it's the dog days. And little fun fact on dog days, I'm like, what is the dog day thing? So there's a star system called Sirius that is all, and Sirius is called the dog star. And that happens between July 3rd and August 11th. So those are typically the dog days, and it's governed by this Sirius star system, which is the dog star. So back to regular programming. The Pitta season in the summer, what you would do to balance, and here in the Northeast, it's really easy to understand the doshas of the seasons. But if you live in Florida, where your climate's pretty much the same all year round, it's kind of hard to discern the differences. But here in New England, it's pretty easy. So during the summertime, it gets hot, and then we offset it with cooling practices. So for example, I am a Pitta prominent person, which explains a lot to me once I figured that out. I tend to really overheat quickly. I have kind of a hair trigger temper, just kind of a hot person. And my secondary dosha is Vata, but primarily I'm a Pitta. And so in the summertime, it's kind of hard for me because I do tend to overheat. So if I'm out gardening, it's usually from like 7:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock, then I stop. And then the Pitta time of day is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the hottest part of the day. So with Ayurvedic, you're trying to offset or balance by going the opposite way. So a Pitta wouldn't go out in the middle of a Pitta time of day in the Pitta season. It's asking for a heat stroke. So I typically do my gardening earlier in the morning. In food for the Pitta season, and it's kind of following nature, you would tend to eat more foods that are sweet, like fruit, bitter, which is leafy greens, and astringent, which are legumes. Here's another fun fact that if you like to have fruit in your water, lemon is actually a mildly hot, more Pitta type of fruit than lime. So in the summertime, you may want to try lime in your water rather than lemon. It'll be more cooling for you. So that's what the Pitta season's all about. And for the Pitta season, I have 2 pranayamas. One is called Sitali. We did that last week, but we're going to do it again this week. And the other one is Sitkari. And they're both based on or focused on cooling the mind and the body, calming you and reducing anger. So the Sitali, you have to be kind of a tongue curler to be able to do this the way they suggest. There's an alternative, but if you curl your tongue like you're drinking or making a straw with your tongue and inhale, you can feel that cooling air come into you. And then for the exhale, you would close your mouth and exhale through the nose. So let's just try that a couple of times. The alternative is, if you're not a tongue curler, is just to have your mouth open like a dog panting. But with the curling tongue, you can really feel that cool air coming in. The Sitkari is the same idea. It's that cooling of the body and the mind. It's bringing your teeth together, your top and your bottom teeth together, and making a really big smile by widening your lips. And then you're inhaling through your teeth, and it kind of makes a hissing sound. And then you close your mouth and exhale through your nose. So let's try that a couple of times. That one might be a little bit more appropriate if you're out in a public place and you're getting hot, as opposed to sticking your tongue out. That might not be understood correctly. So let's take a few moments to have our moment of meditation. The mudra that I have this morning is called Jala, and it's actually for water. And it takes your pinky and your thumb together and extend your other 3 fingers. Kind of, come on, hand. There we go. It's that almost like the Boy Scout thing. And interestingly, and I Googled cooling mudra, and this is what came up repeatedly. But each finger in the mudras represents an element, and it's part of Ayurvedic science too. The thumb is fire and the pinky is water. So those are what Pitta season's governed by, is the fire and the water. So this is intended to be a cooling Mudra. So you can have that and place that on your lap. And I will give you a few moments to meditate and meet you on the mat. You may open your eyes now and we'll prepare for our asana part of the practice. So during the Pitta season, the types of asana or poses that you would want to incorporate into your practice are forward folds and twists. So today's practice has quite a few of those. So let's just start in a seated position, basic seated pose with your shins crossed. Nice, tall, long back. And we're going to just relax our shoulders and do some shoulder shrugs. So gently bring them up to your ears, rounding, bring the blades of your shoulders together, bring your shoulders down and then forward and then back up to your ears. Just try to make a nice soft circle. Deeply inhale and exhale. And then reverse the direction. Again, release any tension that you may have in your shoulder. Just try to do the shrug as softly as you can. And then bring your fingertips to the mat alongside of you. We'll do a few sun breaths. So inhale deeply, bringing your hands up overhead. And then exhale, bringing your hands back down to the mat. Inhale deeply, bringing your hands up. And exhale, bringing your hands back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. The next inhale, bring our hands up. And then we're going to twist our torso to the left side of our mat, bringing our right hand down on our left knee and the left hand down in back of our hips. And just send our gaze to the left side of the mat. And inhale, bring our hands up overhead. And exhale, bringing our hands to the right side. Left hand goes on the right knee, right hand behind our hips, sending our gaze to the right side of the mat for gentle twist. Deep breaths. Inhale, bringing your hands up again. Twist over to the left. Right hand comes down on the knee. Left hand behind your hips on the mat. Deep breaths. And bring our hands up overhead again. And one last time to the right, twisting to the right. And then come back to center. Bring the soles of our feet for cobbler's pose. Bring your hands, wrap them around your ankles, and we're going to do a little variation today. We're going to round our back and bring our chin down to our chest, sending our head down toward the mat. Again, your back is rounding as you go. Then inhale, lift up. And if you want to pull back on your arms to really open up your chest and lift your chin up, you stretch out your back. And then again, start to round your back slowly, dropping your chin to your chest, sending your head down toward the mat. And inhale, lifting up and extending your chest open, lifting your chin up. And then one last time, round your back, dropping your chin down, dropping your head down. And then inhale, lifting your chest up and out, lifting your chin up. The clouds are breaking up a little bit, so maybe we'll see the sun. And then come back to neutral and extend your legs open in a V shape, however's comfortable for you. Flex your toes up toward the sky, and I can say that literally today. And place the back of your hand on the inner part of your right leg, your right hand to your right leg. And then lift your left arm up to the sky. And then we're going to slide our right hand down toward our foot while we twist and bend over our leg. And then inhale, come back up. And we'll do that on the other side. The back of your left hand goes to the inner part of your knee, lifting your right arm up to the sky, and then slide your left hand down toward your ankle as you twist and lean into your knee. And inhale, come back up. We'll do that once again, both sides. The right hand to right knee. Left arm goes up. Slide your right hand down, your leg down toward the ankle, bringing your head and shoulders down toward your knee. And then come back up. And one last time on the left side. Left hand to left knee, right arm goes up. Slide that left hand down toward your foot as you twist and lean your shoulder and head down toward your knee. And then lift up. And then we're going to roll down on our back. So you can do that express method, just tucking your hands behind your knees and rolling back, or you could do one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to try the one vertebrae at a time. Planting your feet on the mat, hip width apart. We're going to do a few supine cat cows here. So we're going to round our back, keeping our hips on the mat, round our back so that the lower part of your back is flush with the mat. And then we're going to arch our back. So there's a little bit of a hole between your back and the mat. So inhale, rounding your back. Exhale, arching your back. Or you can reverse the direction of your breath, whichever works best for your movement. And just continue to take deep breaths, rounding and arching your back. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then come back to a neutral spine. Bring your knees to your chest. Give a nice hug. And then take your hands, interlacing your fingers, and tuck them behind your head. So that your arms are nice and snug into the mat. Shoulder blades are nice and snug into the mat. Knees are still up. You're going to extend the right leg to the bottom of the mat. Keep your feet flexed, toes pointing to the sky. And then bring the right leg back and extend the left leg down to the bottom of the mat. And bring the left leg back. And then we're going to, if this is available to you, you're going to try to touch your knees with your chin, which I'm not going to get close, but bring your chin toward your knees and then back down to the mat again. And then we'll extend our right leg again to the bottom of the mat. Bring it back up, knees to chest. Extend the left leg down to the bottom of the mat. Bring that back up. And then chin toward the knees. And then back, lay back down. One more time. Extend your right leg down to the bottom of the mat. Bring it back up, knees to chest. Extend your left leg down to the bottom of the mat. Bring it back up. And then lift your chin and aim it toward your knees. And then relax. And you can turn over to your side and we'll come up into on our knees, hands and knees to tabletop. Tabletop is your wrists are right below your shoulders, knees are right below your hips, navel's tucked to your spine, creating a flat back. Gentle pressure into your fingertips to push your hands down to create space between your shoulders and your ears. And then we're going to do extended puppy. So keeping your knees where they are, we're going to slowly walk our hands to the top of the mat, which is bringing our chest down toward the mat until you come to the point where your forehead, your third eye, is on the mat. And give your body a nice stretch. And then walk your hands back up, back to tabletop. We'll do that one more time. So slowly walk your hands down to the top of the mat. Bringing your chest down, your forehead down to the mat. Just feel that stretch in your arms and along your back. And then walk your hands back up. And this time we're going to send our hips down to our ankles for child's pose, keeping our hands where they are. And we'll do a stretch this way. You stretch your spine out, your lower back. And inhale, come back up to tabletop. And bringing our knees together, we're going to then extend our left foot down to the bottom of the mat. And then take that left foot and bring it to the right side of the mat, so it's on the outside edge of the mat. And then slowly turn your head to look at your left foot, turning your head to the right to look at your left foot. Then bring your left foot back to tabletop. Head back to center. We'll do that with the right leg. So extend your right leg to the bottom of the mat. Then take your right foot and move it to the left side of the mat on the outer edge of the mat. And then gently turn your head to the left. Look at your right foot. And then bring your right foot back, and we'll do that one more time. So extend your left leg down to the bottom of the mat. Bring it to the left side of, or right side of the mat rather. So it's sitting outside the right side of the mat. And then gently turn your head to the left to look at your right foot. Left foot. And then bring your left foot back to tabletop. Extend your right foot down to the bottom of the mat. Bring it to the left side of the mat. And gently turn your head to the left to look at your right foot. And then come back to center, back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands back, coming into a squat. And then pushing down into your feet, lifting up to mountaintop. And we'll do our mountain essentials. So come to the edge of the mat where your toes are pointing to the straight edge. We lift our toes up off the mat, spread them apart, and then bring them back down onto the mat, lifting our heels off the mat. And then bring our heels back down. Legs are nice and straight and strong. Soft, gentle bend in the knees. Navel's tucked to the spine. Your spine is nice and straight and long, as is the back of your neck. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked ever so slightly in and back. And the crown of your head is reaching up to the sky. And deeply inhale, bringing our arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold, bending deeply with your knees to support your lower back. Bringing your hands to the mat. And just take a few moments to check in with your body. Send some deep breaths to any tension that you may feel. Then inhale, sweeping your hands up to your shins, straightening out your back, half forward fold, sending your gaze out ahead, opening your chest, opening your heart. And then exhale, forward fold, guiding the top of your head down towards the mat. And inhale, sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead. And then come up onto your tippy toes for palm tree. And we'll just sway. It's breezy out here, so hopefully the breeze will kind of help me to sway and not knock me over. And then come back down on your heels, bring your hands back down to forward fold, bending your knees, supporting your lower back. Sweep your hands up to your shins, straightening out your back, opening your chest, half forward fold. And then bring your head down toward the ground for forward fold. Sweep your hands all the way up from the mat on up overhead. And bring your right hand down to your right thigh, keeping your left hand up. And then we'll slide that right hand down toward the knee for supported side stretch. Inhale, bring that right hand up to meet the left. And then drop your left hand down and slide that left hand down toward your knee. Inhale, come back up again. We'll do that once more on each side. So drop your right hand down, slide your hand down toward your knee. Inhale, come back up. And drop your right hand down, slide it down toward your knee. And come back up. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing your head down toward the ground, bending your knees. Slide your hands up for half forward fold, straightening your back, opening your chest. And then exhale, dropping your head down toward the ground for forward fold. And sweep your hands all the way up. And then exhale, bring them back down again, forward fold. We're going to bend our left knee, have our left hand on the mat, bend our left knee, keep the right knee as straight as you can, and then with your right hand, sweep it all the way up to the sky. It's forward fold with a twist. And if you're able to, you could send your gaze up to your hand, or maybe just straight out ahead of you. And bring your right hand back down and place it on the mat in front of your right foot. Bend your right knee, straightening your left leg as much as you can. And then sweep your left hand all the way up to the sky. Sending your gaze with it, or just sending your gaze straight ahead. And then bring your left hand back down. Bring both hands all the way up overhead, sweeping them up from the mat. Bring them palms together, bringing your palm to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And then take your hands and place them on the back of your hips. Feet are hip width apart. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked to your chest. And then just drop your shoulders back for supported back bend. Inhale, come back up again. Inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Placing both hands on the mat, extend your feet to the back of the mat into downward dog. Get comfortable with your downward dog. Fingers are spread wide apart. Weight of your hand or weight should be into the balls of the fingers, not the wrist. Arms are straight. Guide your chest toward your thighs. Hips are up high. Knees are bent. And you could be pedaling and walking your dog in these dog days of summer. Do a few moments of pedaling. Get comfortable in your down dog. And on the next inhale, we're going to bring our left knee to our left elbow. So inhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow. And then back again to downward dog, pedal out. Inhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow. And back to downward dog, pedal out. And on the next inhale, we're going to bring our left foot between our hands. So inhale, bring your left foot up, guide it up there as best you can. Coming into runner's lunge. Your knees stacked over your ankle. Back leg is active and strong, pushing the heel to the back of the mat. Nice stretch. We're going to plant our right hand into the mat and sweep our left hand up, twisting up to the sky. And then bring our left hand back down. Lower our right knee to the mat. Top of your right foot comes down to the mat. And then with our hands on your fingertips, straighten out your front leg for half monkey. And you can ride your thigh with your ribs if you want. And just get the left leg as straight as you can, bringing your head down toward your knee. And then inhale, come up, back to low lunge, but we're going to extend it a little further. So send your left knee a little bit of head, not so that it extends beyond the tip of your toes, and lower your hips closer to the mat and open your chest as broadly as you can, lifting your chin up. Just give yourself a nice big stretch there. And then we're going to bring it back to low lunge. So your knees over your ankle, and then back to half monkey. So ride your thigh down, straightening out your leg, bringing your head to your knee. And then inhale, come back to low lunge. And then do that, extending out ahead, lowering your hips toward the mat, opening your chest, lifting your chin. And then one last time, bring it back to low lunge, then back to half monkey. And then back to low lunge. Tuck your back toes under, come back up to runner's lunge, and bring both hands to the right side of the mat. And you're gonna walk your hands to the middle of the mat. So you're gonna pivot so that you're facing the right side of your mat. Your hands, you're at like a half forward fold. Hands are below your shoulders. Your feet will be kind of pigeon toe, tucking your toes in and your heels out. And we'll just walk our hands forward a little bit, as far as what's comfortable for you. And then walk them back. And then walk them as back as far as you can, bringing your head down toward the mat. And we'll walk them out in front of you again. And then back to where your hands are underneath you and your head is down, riding down toward the mat. And then bring your hands back to that half forward fold where they're right below the shoulders. And then sweep your right hand up to the sky for a twist. And bring that back down. Sweep your left hand up to the sky for another twist. And bring that hand back down. We're going to walk our hands over to our right foot. And guide our head toward our knee. And then walk our hands back to center and walk them over to our left foot, guiding our head toward our knee. And then we're going to pivot our feet so that we're back into runner's lunge. So just twist your feet so that toes are pointing to the top of the mat. And you're back into runner's lunge. You take your left foot and bring it to the back of the mat, joining your right foot. And we'll come into downward dog. And from here, just pedal out for a moment. From here, we're going to come into pigeon pose. We're going to bring our left knee and place it on the mat right behind our left wrist. And guide our foot so that it's at a diagonal on the mat. And then with our right foot, we're just going to slide that down to the bottom of the mat. So if you want and have a pillow or cushion and support it underneath your left thigh, your left hip. Work. And then we're going to open our chest like what we did a few moments ago with half monkey. Just opening our chest wide, lifting our chin up. And then we're going to walk our hands down to the top of the mat, bringing if this is available to you, you don't have to do this, come into a reclined pigeon pose. And then bring yourself back up. Tuck your back toes under and lift up. Come back into downward dog. And pedal out here for a few moments. The downward dog becomes a resting pose. The more advanced your yoga practice is, just find a downward dog that is really comfortable and comforting and supporting for you. And then we're going to do that all on the right side. So inhale, bringing your right knee to your right elbow. And then back to downward dog, pedal out. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. And back to downward dog, pedal out. And then the third one, we're going to bring the right foot between our hands. So inhale, lifting your foot, bringing it to a runner's lunge position. Your foot's framed by your fingers. We're going to plant our left hand on the mat and sweep our right hand up to the sky for a twist. And then exhale, bring that back down. Lower our left knee to the mat, left top of our foot to the mat. And then guide our right leg so that we straighten it out, righting our thigh with our ribs if you want. Bringing your head down toward our knee. Then inhale, come up and extend your knee forward. Again, not to exceed the tops of your toes. Opening your chest, lifting your chin up, lowering your hips toward the mat. And then come back to low lunge. And then back to half monkey, straightening out that right leg. Lowering your head to the knee. Inhale, come back up to low lunge. And then extend your knee a little bit further, dropping your hips, opening your chest. And then again, one last time for half monkey, come back to low lunge. And then straighten your left leg, bringing your head down toward your knee. And then come back up to low lunge. Tuck your toes underneath and come back, lift back up to runner's lunge. And we'll bring our hands to the left side of the mat, left side of your foot, and walk them to the center, pivoting. And I'm going to turn around so you don't get the butt view. So your hands are right below your shoulders. Toes are pointed in, kind of pigeon-toed, heels out. Then we'll walk our hands forward. And then walk them back. And walk them to the point where they're underneath you, which will drop your head down. Walk them forward again. And walk them back. Have them underneath you, dropping your head down toward the mat. And bring them back so that your hands are right below your shoulders. Then sweep your right hand up to the sky. You can follow it with your gaze or just focus to the right side of your mat, straight ahead. And bring your right hand back down to the mat. Sweep your left hand up to the sky. Send your gaze with it, or send your gaze to the left side of the mat, straight ahead. And then bring your left hand back down. Walk your hands over to your right foot. Actually, walk them over to the left foot first. Does them backwards. Bring your head toward your knee. And now walk them over to your right foot. Bringing your head toward your knee. And then pivot your feet so that their toes are pointing to the top of the mat and you're in runner's lunge. Then bring your right foot, the top foot, back to join the left foot and come into downward dog. Pedal out here for a moment. And then we'll bring our right leg into pigeon pose. So bringing your right knee up, placing it right behind your right wrist. Your leg will be at a diagonal, or could be at a diagonal. You can also have it go straight back if the diagonal was a little too ouchy for you. Some people are able to bring their shin and foot so that's parallel with the top of the mat. That's very ouchy for me. In fact, I can't do it. And then lower, slide your left foot back to the top of your left foot's on the mat. And walk your hands back and opening your chest up and out. Proud pigeon. Nice gentle back bend. And then walk your hands down if you're so inclined and come into reclined pigeon, bringing your head down to the mat. And then walk your hands back up. Tuck your back toes under and lift up. Back into downward dog. And pedal out here for a moment. And come down on your knees to tabletop. So tabletop, your wrists are right below your shoulders, knees below your hips. And we're going to do a thread the needle. So lift your left arm up to shoulder height and then sweep it underneath your torso, bringing it to the other side of the mat while you guide your left shoulder and your left ear down to the mat. Send your right arm up to the sky, opening your chest. Or you can land your right hand on your hips or just keep it on the mat in front of you. And if your right hand's not on the mat, bring it down to the mat and gently push yourself back up to tabletop. We'll do that on the other side. So bring your right arm up to shoulder height. Sweep it under your torso, guiding your right shoulder and right ear down to the mat. Send your left arm up to the sky or to your hips, or just keep it on the mat in front of you. And bring your left hand back down to the mat and gently push, come back up to tabletop. Swing your legs out to the side, your feet out to the side, and come into staff position. You're seated, feeling your sit bones on the mat. You can help that with just kind of push down into the mat, lifting your hips up off the mat and then lowering your hips down. Feel your sit bones. Toes are flexed, reaching to the sky. We're gonna do a pose called caterpillar. And it's basically, the key part of it is to relax. So you can place your hands alongside your knees on the mat. So that they're resting on the mat just beside the outer part of your knees. And then you're gonna round your back, dropping your chin to your chest. Dropping your head toward your knees, ever so slightly. Just don't force this in any way. And just let gravity take over. When you reach your edge, that point of your sweet spot, point of effort and relaxation. And just let gravity do its thing to straighten out your spine, create some space there. Then lift back up. We're going to roll down on our back, express method or one vertebrae at a time. We go with express this time. And then hug your knees to your chest gently and rock back and forth, giving your lower back a nice massage. In honor of the full strawberry moon, you can take your toes and draw big circles, clockwise, and then counterclockwise. And then place your feet on the mat, hip width apart. Bring your arms out to the sides at shoulder height. We'll do a few windshield wipers, actually bringing the edges of your feet to the edges of the mat. That'll be more comfortable. And then drop your knees to the right side while your left palm of the palm of your left hand is going to face up to the sky. The palm of your right hand is going to face down toward the mat or floor. And then you're going to send your head to the left to look at your left palm. Then inhale, bring your knees to center and then guide your knees to the left side of the mat, dropping them down as your head turns over toward the right side of the mat, and your hands are going to flip. So your right palm is facing up to the sky. Left palm is facing down to the ground. Your gaze is extended to the right hand. Then inhale, bring your legs back up. Drop them to the left as your head is turning to the left side, or drop your legs to the right and turn your head to the left, flipping your palms the other way. Inhale, come back up, lifting the legs up, dropping them to the left, sending your head over to the right side, flipping your hands. And just do that movement at your own pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Gently rolling your head from one side to the other side. Flipping your palms up and down. A nice gentle movement going. And then come back to center and extend your legs all the way down to the bottom of the mat. Prepare for Shavasana. Send your ankles to the corners of your mat and let your feet flop open wide. Send your arms 45 degrees away from your torso with the palms facing up. Shoulders, blades are nice and snug into the mat. Lower back is nice and snug into the mat. And just from your toes on up to your nose, just take each piece and ask it to relax. Tell your ankles to relax. Tell your shins to relax. Your knees. Tell your hips to relax. Your spine, tell it to release and relax into the mat. Your arms and your hands, ask them to relax, let go. Relax your face. Place a gentle smile upon your lips. And just relax for a moment. I have a poem by Mary Oliver titled Why I Wake Early. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even miserable and crotchety. Best preacher that ever was, dear star, that just happens to be where you are in the universe to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warming touch, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Watch now how I start the day in happiness and kindness.